So I got a nice $20 bill here, and in the back of it, it's got the words, "In God we trust." Now, I'm not here to complain about that. I do believe in God. However, I am starting to wonder what the motive was for putting that on all of our money. Is it possible that the people who put this on our legal tender did it not to help us put trust in God, but actually to put trust in them, those who are in control of the money supply? Now, obviously, this kind of phrase probably doesn't exist on other currencies in the world, but I think that the principles I'm talking about in this video, the things that I'm thinking about, do apply to all money, do apply to all government. I think it's all the same. So I started looking into why this was added to our money. There were 2 points in history when this happened. First to coins, and then to all money. So the first time was during the Civil War. And there was great distrust on all sides, to the point where a war broke out. And to help in some way, uh, all coins that started to be minted at that time started to have the words "In God We Trust" printed on them, and this was a marketing tactic. Then comes the Cold War, another great time of distrust and uncertainty. And at this point, the US decided to make it official to separate themselves from the communists, in that, let's market ourselves as the country that puts God, up on our money. And, as "In God we trust" as a motto, right? It turned into the official motto. Now, I don't necessarily think this is bad, but it started me thinking more and more about trust. Trust is a tremendous power. You think of what you do if you don't trust something. Let's say you don't trust that your dog won't chew your pillow, right? You start to verify and make sure that your dog's in the right place, your dog's fed, not stressed. Maybe the pillows are not in the room. You start just verifying everything to make sure your pillows are safe, right? That's a silly example, but when you don't trust something and you can't verify it, things get really bad. If society doesn't trust governments, governments fail. If society doesn't trust parties, the party fails. And you then get into a situation where things just start breaking around you, right? When distrust is rampant and it can't be verified. This is where Bitcoin is so unique. And this is why I love Bitcoin so much. Bitcoin is built on this idea of trustless. It's a trustless system. Every aspect of Bitcoin can be verified. I think that's so cool. You don't have to trust Satoshi. You don't have to trust the miners. You don't have to trust the node runners. You can verify literally everything on the entire network. And what this creates is more belief in something, right? The more something can be validated, then it can be actually then in reverse more trusted, which is kind of funny in that way. Imagine if the US dollar was like that. Imagine that you could at any time verify any transaction ever made in the history of the US dollar or your own currency in your country. I think trust would start growing in that currency, and we would no longer have a devaluing of legal tender. That's why Bitcoin is so strong. So in the end, I do trust in God, but I no longer trust in the people who are playing God. And I think Bitcoin gives us that power. It also unifies us. You may not believe in God, you may believe in the universe or anything else, right? I'm totally fine with that, and I don't care. However, why I do care, right? I do care what you believe. I think it's important that you believe in something. However, Bitcoin unifies us in that really special way. And I think that's the biggest strength that Bitcoin has.